Welcome and thank you for joining me as I explain who I am and how my company Speaks Leadership Group has helped many people close multiple real estate deals, allowing them to change their life through my coaching. I'm sure you're wondering, who's Adam Speaks and why am I even qualified to teach you wholesale real estate? Well, let me begin by telling you a little bit about myself and how I got here teaching you today. 35 years ago, a little while ago, I was born 4 months premature with a hole in my heart and underdeveloped lungs. My mother was having a complicated birth, so the doctors cut me out of my mother's stomach and set me to a side table because they didn't think I was going to survive. Moments later, they heard a cry come from over there and noticed that I was in fact alive. So they rushed me to the intensive care unit and tried to save my life. My mom told me that a nurse came in and said, wake up, your child's getting ready to die and you should definitely see him before he dies. So she wheeled my mother into the ICU and told her, hey, look, there's your son, his name is Adam. Well, my mother thought she must have been high on the morphine because she hadn't even given me a name yet. So she asked who named him, and the nurse said it was his grandmother. Well, she then knew that she really had to be high on the morphine because my grandmother had been dead for a year prior to my birth. And to this day, I still don't know exactly who named me, but I believe that I did and I still do have a guardian angel protecting my life. So, I grew up on the north side of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in a neighborhood called Manchester, where I went to Manchester Elementary. And then I went on to a boarding school for underprivileged single-parent children called Milton Hershey School. If you guys ever have eaten a Hershey chocolate bar, then you know who the founder of Milton Hershey School is. His name is Milton Hershey. But while at Milton Hershey School, I experienced kids and teachers from all areas of the country, from every different race, every different age, every different gender, and that is what helped me become a more well-rounded man, able for me to relate to people from all walks of life. And that's why I can relate to your story no matter where you have been or what you may have been through, because I have been through, or I know someone who has been through your similar story and shares similar experiences. I graduated from Milton Hershey and then I went on to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's where my life began to shift. So after my freshman year, I was home in Pittsburgh for the summer and I got a call from a friend and saying, hey, Adam, I just made $20,000 doing a real estate deal and you should do it too. What's your credit score? 18 at the time and had no idea what my credit score was. So I gave him my info to check my credit. And he called me back half out of breath saying, Adam, you have a 720 credit score. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So he says, Adam, you can qualify for an investment property. So the next semester in the fall, I was actually approached by a barber on the campus about buying an investment property. I guess the word got out about my credit score. So I actually ended up purchasing my first investment property and made $50,000 on that deal. And guess what I did next? I purchased another property for $50,000 and made 50 grand on that deal as well. So I was so excited that I had to share the knowledge with my friends, my families, and people who also wanted this information as well because they wanted to change their life. And the reason why I was able to do this is because I was blessed enough to have an aunt and niece at the time who put me on her credit card at a young age and didn't tell me that she did and paid the credit card every single month. So by the time I turned 18, I was able to have a good credit score. So I advise you as parents to do the same thing. Put your kids on your credit card, add them as an authorized user. So by the time they're 18, they have a head start over their peers. So, things were going well, but we all know what happened around 2008. The real estate market crashed. And because it crashed, I had to pivot. But I still knew that I had my sales skills, I had my business skills, I had my marketing skills, and I was able to join a company that was a marketing company that had a management training program, which would allow me to open up my own franchise. And once I completed the management training program, where I would partner with Fortune 500 companies such as Best Buy, Sam's Club, DirecTV. Once I finished that program, I was able to open up my own franchise. And actually what I did was I completed the program in 16 weeks from interview to when I actually opened up my franchise, which is the fastest time in the company's history. So once I completed the program, I was tapped to go into the #1 market. And the #1 market happened to be Tampa, Florida, because at the time I was doing marketing and direct sales for Best Buy, Sam's Club, and DirecTV. And in Florida, in Tampa, Florida, actually, they have the most Best Buys and Sam's Clubs throughout the whole nation, which I didn't know. So I was tapped to go there because of my talents and my abilities. But, once that contract ended, I decided to stay in Tampa because, as we know, sometimes, as a kid, we make decisions that aren't usually the best for us. But being a young kid, as you know, sometimes we make money fast and we blow money fast. And that's sort of what happened to me down there. So I came into a little bit of a hard moment or a hard time. But at the same time, Atlanta was coming back and real estate was coming back as far as the market. So I moved back to Atlanta, and guess where I ended up at? My mom's couch. Now, this was a very humbling experience because I went from making $40,000 gross per month to sleeping on my mother's couch. But I knew who I was, and I knew what I was capable of, and the knowledge that I had about wholesale real estate. I knew that I would be able to change my situation for the better if I would only do one more wholesale real estate deal. Now, I didn't have a laptop, I didn't have Wi-Fi, I didn't have a car, I didn't have money at the time, I didn't even have a great credit score. But I didn't let that stop me. I was able to still close a wholesale real estate deal and make $5,000 by only using my phone, okay? I'll tell you more about the details about that deal later, but just know that it's possible for you. If I can do it from my mom's couch with just a phone, then you can do it too. But what's even cooler is that the seller of the property, his name was Kevin Maurice. He's actually a really big wholesaler here in Atlanta, Georgia. He's an investor himself, and he was looking for someone who could take pictures of his properties so he can market those properties to investors. I told him that I would be happy to take pictures for him because this would allow me to see properties regularly and get a feel of what investors were looking for in this market. So a few months later, Kevin gave me a call, and he said he had a friend by the name of Dave Emmerich who was looking for help marketing his real estate company by going door to door, putting door hangers on his property and seeing if the seller would be interested in selling that property. Now, it's the middle of August, so it's extremely hot in Atlanta. But me knowing that Dave's company is a national company who has a TV show on HGTV called Flip or Flop Atlanta, I definitely wanted to do all I could to get next to them and get on their radar. And so I said, sure, I'll be definitely willing to help out Dave. And a little while later, Dave called me and asked if I would be willing to come into the office to fill in for an employee who was out for 2 weeks. And that is actually exactly what I was waiting for. So you see how I got close to the company and see I was able to get in there. So now I had an opportunity to get even closer to the company so I can prove my worth, I can prove my value. So when I went into the office, I started facilitating the real estate deals for the company. And after 2 weeks went past, the employee who was out never came back. So I was offered a full-time position with the company. Yay! I'm no longer walking outside in August in that heat. Thank goodness. So once I started, I was able to actually own my own office, have my own office space. And not only that, I closed 26 deals in 26 weeks, average a deal per week. With the same strategy I'm going to teach you in this real estate course. So about 70 closings later, I ended up branching out on my own and opening up my own wholesale real estate company with my girlfriend. So on December 1st, 2020, that was our first day of business. And within 3 weeks, we already closed 3 deals. making $15,000 in the process. That's one deal per week average, still. And because of our success and because of the multiple transactions that I've closed without a license, without any credit, without any money, I decided to create this course for you. Because if I can do it, you can do it. The key is believing. Believe in yourself even if no one else does. A quote that has always stuck with me is, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way you're right. So it starts with your mindset. It starts with believing that it's possible for you. As a matter of fact, remember that first deal that I talked about in college? Well, I actually had to put a $1,500 earnest money deposit down to purchase that deal. Don't worry, you won't have to do that because the techniques I'm about to teach you, you don't have to put down any money. But I asked my family if I should put down that $1,500 earnest money deposit, and guess what they said? Don't do it, it's a scam. But I did anyway. And if I would have went with their advice, I would not be here talking with you today. No matter if no one believes in you, or no matter if no one even understands what you're doing, you must believe in yourself because no one knows you like you. Most people don't even try because they don't even think that they can succeed. And that's why they never do, because they never try. So you need to try. And if you're scared, then do it scared, because this is about your legacy and the legacy that you leave for your family. Now understand that this course is teaching you a lot more than just wholesale real estate. We're teaching you confidence skills, communication skills, business skills, organization skills, mindset skills, negotiation skills, and much, much more. This course will give you the freedom of time and freedom of money. It's important to have both because you don't just want to have one. I'm sure we all know people who have lots of time on their hands, but they're always broke. Then on the other hand, you have people that make lots and lots of money, but they never have time to spend with their families because they're always working. And that's not the quality of life that you want either. I'm just glad that I'm able to go on this journey with you, opening your eyes to the new possibilities in your life through wholesale real estate. And by the end of this course, you will be what we call here at Speaks Leadership Group, a certified real estate wholesale deal engineer, making more money than you ever have before. So get ready to change your life, and I'll see you inside this course.